You're welcome to Be All You Can Be right here on the Saturday Morning Cruise. I'm XTRA, and it's time. The Catalyst is in the building. Welcome, Lanre.
Hey, Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic, and we've got a fantastic guest here today, Wole Olusola. Wole, how are you doing today?
I did very well, I'm good.
Oh, fantastic. So this morning we're talking about be extraordinary, be successful. The last week has been a phenomenal week. We just concluded a coaching social media week where a lot of the life coaches and psychologists came together to talk about sex, money, and relationships. Chris, can you imagine? It was a ball. It was fun. We had an incredible time.
Yes.
You know, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Google Plus, on Instagram. It was an experience.
When you're talking about sex, money, relationships, especially money and sex, they're like very hot topics.
Well, you know, people also want to be very successful and wealthy. In fact, when the Google particular research organization did a research on what Nigerians Google the most, one of the things that came up top 3 is how can I join the Illuminatis?
I'm guessing that's because of money.
So it's really, you know, people just want to make money, man. People want to Google. In fact, another thing that people Googled was how can I kiss better? How can I have sex better?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the third thing is love.
That's a real shocker. Is it actually? I'm not too sure it's a shocker, especially with the, you know, the kind of videos that come out these days, both locally and internationally. A whole lot of them usually have that sexual undertone.
Well,
and always, is that sex or money, you know?
Well, and love. You know,
Yes.
what they've done successfully in media is they've sold sex as love and love as sex. So, you know, a lot of relationships are breaking down because people...
And money as success.
As money as success. So, you know, today we want to clarify, you know, what being extraordinary is. We want to clarify what being successful is. So, you know, Wole, you know, what's your perspective about being extraordinary?
Well, being extraordinary simply means standing out from the crowd, you know, having your own identity. You're not trying to define yourself based on people's perceptions about you or based on the generally accepted perception, but you're just trying to define yourself based on your own personal God-given vision. That's what makes you extraordinary. The moment you try to be like someone else, you become a fake, a photocopy. So the only way you can be extraordinary is to be yourself and to be yourself well. Because it is when you are yourself, that's when you can annex and access the utmost of your being, your great strength. Because the moment you try to be like someone else, you have placed a barrier on what you can become, and you'll never be extraordinary.
Well, what Wole is saying is you can only be but second best when you copy. You are the only original, and the most important first step to being extraordinary is you've got to discover who you are, you've got to know who you are, you've got to accept who you are, and you've got to become who you are. And you know, the second thing I want to talk about is, you know, what solution were you born to be? Every extraordinary person has found out what solution they were born to be and what problem they were born to solve. You know, so and they have taken their time to creatively position themselves and to present themselves as a solution, understanding that people do not buy products anymore. People buy people. People buy authenticity. People buy originality. People buy uniqueness. People buy value. People pay for value, and that's what being extraordinary is. Extraordinary people set goals. They have a vision, and they understand the science and the psychology and the dynamics of how to set those goals and the steps that they need to take towards achieving those goals. Extraordinary people plan ahead. Extraordinary people check their realities, understand the things that may stop them, the potential barriers and the real barriers along their path, and extraordinary people go ahead and they eliminate, they face it, and they deal with it. Extraordinary people do not leave things to chance, although they understand that time and chance happens to all. They understand that they need to take responsibility on their own part to make you know, opportunities, turn opportunities into reality. You know, extraordinary people don't wait around. Extraordinary people are not lazy. Extraordinary people are the people that understand that time is money and money is time. And so they spend their time to create more time for themselves, and they do not waste time. They invest time. Extraordinary people are not people, you know, that don't take responsibility. They take responsibility for everything that happens in their lives, you know, and they blame nobody for where they are. Extraordinary people think. They think for themselves. Extraordinary people have, you know, are in touch with their emotions. They have empathy. They have compassion. You know, they love people, and they love to relate with people and to solve people's problems. And extraordinary people are bold. They are courageous. They're tenacious. They are fearless. Extraordinary people are determined and dogged. So, you know, are you any of these qualities? Do you really, 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 really want to become extraordinary? Being extraordinary is something that you need to plan. It's something that you need to be determined about. It's something that you need to be deliberate about. It just doesn't happen to you, you know, and you know, you cannot separate being extraordinary from being successful. So what is really being successful? What is really being extraordinary? What is the relationship between extraordinary and being successful?
Like what most people would say that if you want that, those who become extraordinary are those who go the extra mile. So if you want to be different from, you know, when you look at your peculiar calling in life, you are not the only one whom God has probably called to be a medical doctor. You are probably not the only one God has called to be an accountant. But if you want to be different from every accountant, every doctor, then you must do something others are not doing. You must go the extra mile. You must set goals that are bigger than the norm. And when you set those goals and you achieve them, you become successful. And the truth about success is that it's not a state. It's not a destination, it's a journey, it's an adventure, it is continuous. So I think I'll be right to say that success is the setting of various goals. When you set one goal, it opens you up to set another goal. And you know, when you set another goal and you meet that goal, it opens you up to set and set and set more goals. So you see, when you are a successful person, there's no resting point. Because if you rest, they will catch up with you and you become an ordinary person. So if you want to keep on being extraordinary and to be successful, it's a journey. It's not a one-time stuff. It's a once and again and again and again. It's a succession of events.
Wow. So I'd like to use this word. Don't strive to be a success. Strive to be succeeding.
Yes.
And
yes.
as you consistently succeed, the reward that you will get is you become extraordinary. Extraordinary people are just ordinary people that understand that they need to do the extra, go the extra mile, you know, such that, you know, they do the things that ordinary people do not do. And as Wole said, you know, extraordinary success is given to all. But not all people will become extraordinary or successful. Now, everybody has a niche. Everybody has been created to be a particular solution. And in that niche area, you're not the only one. What separates you from the other person is that extra that you put in. Is that little thing that you do innovatively and creatively. Is that different thing that you put into it. Is the difference in you. We call it the USP. What is your selling point? You know, and that your USP is what makes you stand out. That USP is what makes you extraordinary. Remember, it is a journey. Life in itself is a journey, not a destination. You must understand that from the day that you were born till the day that you're going to die, you're on a journey to succeed. Strive to be succeeding. Strive for excellence, and you will realize that you will become extraordinary.
Okay, still talking about being extraordinary and being successful. It's Be All You Can Be right here on the Beat 99.9 FM. You can get across to us on Facebook.com the beat 99.9 FM. You can also tweet at the beat 999 FM or call in on 081 026 50209. Still talking about being successful. You mentioned being bold. I remember people like Leonardo da Vinci and all the inventors from way back in the days when a lot of them came up with the concept that the world was round, and that was seen as blasphemy, and they were I don't know, damned basically. It requires a whole lot of boldness to come out, courage to come out and say, state facts that are true, but nobody would believe you and people would consider really crazy.
Extraordinary people meditate a lot, they think a lot, they have a mind of their own, they believe in themselves, they know what they are called to be. Extraordinary people are disciplined. That's one of the things that is most critical about them. They are teachable. They learn from everything, from everywhere, and from everyone. Extraordinary people have a positive mental attitude. They believe that everything is possible. They believe that nothing is impossible. They are trailblazers, they are pathfinders, they are the Oliver, they're the John the Baptist of a particular niche area or a particular sphere of endeavor. Extraordinary people are people like Wole Olusola, who is championing, the grace message. If we want to go spiritual now, when Wole starts to preach about grace, you go tired. So, so Wole, bringing it home, what are you doing? What is it that you have done? What are the steps that you are taking towards becoming extraordinary, towards succeeding? What are the things that you've done? How is it that you've overcome a lot of the obstacles? Because I know that you must have experienced a lot of barriers along your path.
Well, the first thing is this: you must believe in what you are doing. Because if you don't believe in what you are doing, people won't believe in it with you. If you don't believe in what you are doing, nobody will buy into your vision. And a lot of things have been said about leadership. That leadership is the ability to lead people. That if you are leading and nobody is following you, you are actually taking a stroke. But I don't buy into that line of thinking, because if I'm permitted to talk about the Bible.
Oh yeah, you're Pastor Wole. Please, feel free.
Okay, when the disciples wanted to leave, Jesus told them, are you also going to leave me too? If they had left him, he would have gone on doing what he was doing. He had a purpose to fulfill. So whether anybody believed in it or not, he would still have gone ahead to die. I've been vilified a lot for being a preacher of the gospel of grace, because it is not common in this parts. It's not, because here you are being told about what to do, but I'm preaching about what to believe, because it is the belief that drives the doing. So it is strange. I've been vilified, persecuted, but the most important thing is this: I know who sends me.
Wow.
And is the only one I report to.
So let us even take you on this. You're saying it's not about what?
No, it's not about what.
It's not about what you can do for God.
No.
You're saying grace is about what God can do for you?
What God can do for you, believing in what God can do for you. You see, grace is simply God serving you.
Wow.
Grace is God working for you without your efforts, and your access into it is by faith in the finished works of Christ. It doesn't say the finished works of Christ and Lanre. It doesn't say the finished works of Christ and Chris and Wole. It is totally the finished works of Christ, and your access into it is by faith. For ye are saved by grace through faith.